qualify for some lands, like maybe a challenger event later down the road, or another North American land later down the road. Either, like, it would just be so big for that sort of confidence, and I really do hope that they can turn that corner and then have that opportunity to start playing a land and prove themselves that this is a roster that's here to stay and play around at the top level of NA.
I'm right there with you. I think this is a team that can. I know ECL, I think this season has gotten a lot tougher with the introduction of Legacy, with the advancement of Wildcard and what their roster could be. You know, as soon as they get those guys over from Sweden, you know, the competition's gotten increased, so everyone needs to up their game if they want to remain competitive. And you know, NRG is another team on that list that has upped their game. So I'm with you. It's going to be a tough task to be the team in North America that's taking qualification spots, but again, hot starts, being able to build confidence, that is going to be the keys to this roster's success. Got a slow pistol though. Very, very patient so far to kick things off. But it will be finishing towards that A side here, and I think that's the right idea, especially if they throw a good execute. They've got a lot of utility, so it's going to be tough to handle for NRG.
Oh, Breeze from the pit. He's done some incredible work from this position a long time in his career, but he can only find one. Great molly to snuff him out. OC will only find one as well. And with that, a 3v3 retake is necessary for NRG if they want to secure this pistol. That being said, this A bomb site, no matter what kind of guns you have, as a team, you have to be favored in man-even situations.
Yeah, so hard to operate in the post.
No
Smoking
kit.
up, isolating. You're right, there is no kit there. That smoke's going to help him at least scale and isolate some of those duels on the site as they go on in, but instead of getting chopped up by these quick headshots, Nitro, he gets a nice little spin right there. On the Tadazin, gives him a whirl, but Automatic a little bit too late on the uptick. The no kit factor here gotta be his undoing, as well as that pesky wall right there that makes it so he can't tap the bomb. W1 will go down with a ship and lasers. They'll start things off with a pistol. That's much needed.
Yeah, definitely for the confidence. Closing out a 3v3 A site post plant it should be an automatic confirmation, but with the way some of the last map had gone, even that wasn't even a confirmation. So glad that they get it out of the way. NRG right back in it with the force buy. I think on a map like Inferno, you can make this kind of a buy work, especially now that S49 has gotten up close and personal. Immediate trade for him, but that's all he's gonna get. Hex, meanwhile, stereo frag on the other end. Tadison goes down with nothing, and Hex will get away with the Mach 10.
Fresh foot on Breeze, though. They know that there's multiple players in the 3v3 towards the B side. So it's a bit of a time buying measure here for Breeze, and fired early and missed a kill that he had handed to him. That's going to be potentially costly. For now, at least he's still kicking. Didn't overextend and give his life up there in hopes of recovering that duel. But it might be destined here soon. W1's still patient. Will he get his return? He will. Just a little delayed, but eventually does find the frag.
Dude, he only had 5 bullets in the clip. He never reloaded that entire... Yeah, he never did. And that's what I was saying wow about, that he just continued that sort of aggression with that few bullets in the magazine. He's picked up an AK now, has a chance to actually cut off the bomb, and he's completely missed it, actually. Nitro will spot it out. Now he's gonna get crunched. He sees his dead man walking at this point. Surely you'd like to think, but he gets the dink off. Oh my goodness, and now Denoco pounces from the apartments. What a collapse of a round for NRG.
I mean, two, like, crazy timings that just happened back to back. You saw the little slip, the gap of the mid play right there. Gets his way towards arches without being seen, without being spotted. I think that's a big problem. But Hex, that bomb's half ticked. Makes noise picking up that AK, and he's just not giving a duel. Not giving a fight that he hopes for. Somehow nails the headshot. He's gonna go for a fight here to try and close out the last kill. He will find it, but again, it's that timer that's going to win him the round here. So Lazer's going to move up to 2, but it does become very costly, and an AK held on to. Do you keep the force buys up in this sort of situation? That's a big question.
I would. I really do like that in this kind of situation. It gives you a chance to string so many rounds together, and your players are definitely feeling it when they've got opportunities with better weapons. And yeah, they're gonna opt in. I love this kind of a continued force buy mentality. It's a huge risk, and you would go like 4-0 in the hole, but I mean the upside of it is also very, very tantalizing to the CT side.
I'm with you.
Honestly, it's not that bad of a buy. You've got a FAMAS, you've got a UMP, and an MP9. That 5.7 has shown to do damage in the round previous. Why not try to run this kind of a buy?
I think it's a great idea. Got a lot of firepower here up against it. Flashes gonna be tossed on in. Nitro not as successful. Dinoco makes it a double on Banana. There's a trade eventually found, and again Breeze fired a little bit early in apartments. Had a back turn right there, but goes for the spray through the smoke, so reveals his position. And then last man standing known. Not necessarily secured there on the retreat. The other side of the map there will be taken down, and that'll be it. That'll be the force spy wars. Kind of put the rest there.
It's unfortunate, but I mean there were moments where that could have fallen apart for E-Xolos LAZER, but individuals very on point. W1 handling business in the apartments, and more so Dinoco with that double on Banana is everything. They'll go up 3-0, and as I said before, 4 pretty much a definite at this point. And now, considering you're at max loss bonus, you could still have a decent little buy here in round number 4. I mean, you've got 5.7s out, you've still got a UMP. There's still a little bit of damage that can be dealt to force some rebuys.
No question. Keep that economy nice and low. That's going to be the goal here, if not doing more. So far, not given the opportunity just yet to strike. Still holding on into the 5v5, but also maintaining some decent real estate here. They got some good ground held on to over towards Banana.
Man, the gamble is not paying off here for NRG. They shift 4 players over, trying to sell something by recycling these smokes, but all it's done has caused concern in the ranks of E-Xolos LAZER, and they'll move back into that A bomb site where Breeze lies in wait with this 5.7. But there is really no opportunity for him to get involved. He's going to have just terrible gunfights all across the shop. He does find one and a second. For how little weaponry he had, Breeze did quite a good job. They can look for a potential retake and see if they can take some more guns away.
That's fantastic. Bit of work manufactured. And again, taking guns away, maybe even closing a retake. They've just got to close that distance somehow. And left with multiple smokes towards Moto, it doesn't make life any easier. Flashbang for good measure as they finally look to spring into action here. They gotta make a move eventually, and they do find the first. That's the big player down, and now the rest of the dominoes come tumbling. A 1 deke from Osi to cue the aggression, and then the kills just flow on through there for a steal of a round from NRG.
Oh, just in the nick of time to get the defuse off. I'm shocked Hex got that 5.7 kill off of Moto. That felt like he was blind or nearly so. Man, these pistols do so much work for NRG, and they finally break that little barrier that they were trying to get through. Unfortunately for them, it's a round too late, and LAZER will have a buy still in reserve. There is reservations with Dinoco's Mac 10, but for the most part, the Brazilians still have a chance to defend what little of a lead they have at this point.
Yeah, that's good news. As you said, some small sacrifices here taken, but still looking pretty healthy. Again, it's right back to familiar territory here. A team that's scary in these late rounds. Even Breeze now being one of those players to step up. And Op zoomed in. And a potential dry peak ready to turn that corner. It's the MAC-10 might be the man to lead the charge. Mollies will complicate things, which is an interesting one. Now they're going to reaggress.
Oh, lovely flashbang, but Nitro cannot collect the kill, and that reaggression is to their own demise. There's one last smoke available, but they're going to go straight through this. They want to go right at Hext, into his waiting arms. There's a cross into the church side of things, so he is being wrapped, but Hext has found another. Hold the phone. Is there an opportunity for the Canadian to have another round for himself here? He's found himself a triple. Go on then, Hext.
Just keeps on winning these duels right there. So aware of that flank. Always had that one in the back of his mind here. Now looking to maybe deny the bomb plant, but also trying to distract here for automatic on the flank. And he gets one, playing around the smoke. Did he just try and run through that?
No way.
I think he got caught trying to get towards Dark there.
Emo,
W1.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, you can see where he is. That's a crazy spam. No, W1 left last man standing. He looks to isolate these fights, spotted out now, and Hex gets 5. The last man on the B side as the re-aggression goes wrong, and somehow again Hex makes a very unlikely round happen.
Yeah, this is that X factor that I'm talking to you about. The amount of potential that this guy has is so awesome to see when he gets let loose like that. Just a straight up aim farm for Hext in that late round situation. I mean, yeah, you can point to some mistakes by Laser trying to kind of deconstruct that site take, but still winning every single one of those gunfights is a tough task. And Hex passed with flying colors. That is the straw that breaks the camel's back as far as the T side is concerned. And now they're restricted down to just pistols. NRG off the back of Hex Ace now have themselves a tie game. Surely.
Feels like it. I mean, for me, I actually might hold that thought. Got a bit of aggression rolling through. But for me, it feels like the bigger problem there is that not everyone was on the same page on Laser. You know, some wanted to push past that smoke, some wanted to wait it out, I feel like, and that was a bit of a kind of awkward fumble where it allowed Hex to chop up his duels. And it just kind of compounds the feeling here that this team, right now, even in the toughest of situations, are figuring out how to win rounds. Even when things are going really wrong for them, they're still closing these out.
And that's a sign of a team that is ready to make that next jump up, you know? Like, those are the kind of signs that you'd need. Okay. OC gets his big green out, looking to rain down the sniper rifle. Aggression in alt mid, and he catches the shoulder of W1. Fantastic little sequence there from OC. And he can fall back, stay mobile, and move over to the other part of the map. Actually, he will hold his rotation, and he'll just hold on to Arch instead. It's a wise decision.
Happy with the advantage. Not gonna press it too much. B-play coming in pretty quick, maybe quicker than they anticipate here, but still holding on strong. As Hex has another one. They continue that man advantage. Hex gets another as Nitro in the fire managed to offer up a frag, and then as a flashbang flies over the new box, it was an easy pickup for Hex. 13 kills to his name, now stepping up in a big way for the squad.
They're feeding the beast at this point. This is terrifying if you're a Brazilian fan. To have this guy have the hot hand. You still haven't seen the most out of OC and Breeze just yet. This is panic stations for E-Xolos LAZER. They're down to another pistol buy. I'd like something a little bit more pacey here. Maybe an apps pop? Maybe trying to get something to cut down the range?
yeah, maybe do some damage. And they're gonna try it, but there's a Molly to meet him at the inbound, and OC ready to meet them as well. Making it easier for the rifler to keep his distance as Dinoco actually makes it onto the site somehow. Doesn't matter too much as the that solid defense is still activated here. A1S picked up for Landon and trying to chop up a last, but the sidearm, it's a little role reversal as Breeze uses the pistol to take down the A1S on site.
Another fantastic round for NRG. This time that A defense holds strong. OC not truly tested in that scenario, but of course he had Breeze to back him up in apartments, who does very well to transition into the pit and use that position as much as possible. I wish people in my pugs would know how to do that, but beggars can't be choosers. Brian.
Just can't sit still. Fortunately for NRG, Breeze can. OC give with another opportunity to try and find an opening duel. Can be a tricky shot to land though, especially with a flashbang, but he's quick on the trigger right there. They don't expect a player up lane though. At least OC able to trade, but also getting wrapped in from the arch side. It's a huge surprise, but a lineup for automatic, and again more good fortune there going in the way of NRG in a late round scenario. Automatic gets a double. Moth backing up into the smoke right here. Okay, he's got a chance, but they're side by side. And what is this? Unbelievable awareness from Hex. Turns around and catches Moth. I mean, that could have been the play that won it right there, potentially, but it just doesn't matter.
What a bizarre round. I mean, OC gets caught out with a nade in his hand, thinking that there's no way they could be up arch that quickly. But the response timing from automatic to push that smoke as that pandemonium is happening off of lane, that's that double kill lineup that comes through. At that point, Mott's clutch attempt is just unfortunate, just so unlucky. And now you've got just confidence oozing out of these players between automatic and Breeze, that they go charging into alt mid, find themselves a triple kill between the two of them, and just completely run rampant. It's getting to be kind of shades of what we saw in Mirage.
Yeah, the confidence is just flowing again. It's back to, you know, after a 0-3 start to the half, you get that for fun counter strike, the quick pace, the crazy clutches, and even again when you kind of get these gaps exploited, like the last round where they have some space towards A, it just doesn't matter because you're responsive, you're reactive so quickly that it doesn't really linger too much. It's a fun way to play CS right there. Hitting that flow state for NRG.
Now if you're Laser, what are you looking at in terms of the rounds needed on this T side? 5 can still be workable, 4 is pushing it, but I think 3 is unacceptable. Still gonna try their hand at early banana control, I'd like to think, but I mean now they're just getting apprehensive considering the amount of aggression that NRG has been throwing Laser's way.
It's gotta be somewhat suffocating here. So you do remain slow about things for now. Baiting out some utility on that B side is kind of what they need to do, but there is still a lot of utility on this B side as well. See how much of a ruckus can be caused here by just one man, and Dinoco, he's doing a good job of taking space, and as I say that, Hex just clotheslined them. They've lost their presence towards B very early, and now it feels like rotation's gonna align in very quickly as Breeze finds the first. Automatic gets a second, and the round never really gets legs to lift off here unless W1 can save it.
What? Looking at that flashbang is OC, but
Double
You'll
soon.
not find anything. At this point, E-Xolos LAZER are just stalled. I mean, they can't really do anything if the bomb is stuck in apartments. They've got to frag their way out, and of course, that is basically never going to happen when you've got a player in lane, a player in site, and in moto. That is an absolute constriction of that A bomb site and a fantastic setup to deal with that sort of pressure. Finally, you get a timeout for LAZER, but honestly, Cole, it feels way too late at this point. The damage has already been done. They're knocking on the door of 9 rounds.
Yeah. It's been a long time since they fielded that success that they did in the early stages. Feels like you said, just too little too late on the pauses. And too little too late on trying to regain some of this control here on the game. So if that offers up, you know, one little extra credit round here. Still think the deficit's pretty steep. Even if they do close it out, but wouldn't hurt.
Oh, big kill for Nitro to find. The flashes continue to chain through at the top of Banana, but Nitro eventually gets hit by one of them and cannot sustain for long enough. Now the flank is through. Automatic has smoked off their choke point of the entrance to Banana, and E-Xolos LAZER have nowhere to go. They are all stuck within the crevices of Banana, and Automatic taps out one. He's looking to tap out another, but the damage is already done. He can fall all the way back if he wants to. There is no chase that Landon can provide, and with a minute 5 left on the clock, this is just a complete non-starter of a round, especially now that OC is trained in from the CT spawn.
Easy shots ahead of him. Double peek, it'll be collateral here. Doesn't actually line up the shot. I think he caught in between the two somehow. So side access not guaranteed here. There's still more resistance. Another shot whizzes by, but there's still that man that's been doing it the entire half on the site to close out the round. A fitting end here for NRG as they lock in 9 here. We'll be hopping into that second half after a short break.
Another difficult test on the cards here for E-Xolos LAZER as they are down 3-9 on Inferno. NRG look absolutely dialed in, and Hex certainly does as well. 17-2 to kickstart this second half.
It's just been an absolute rock on the B side that the entire half was locked in, saving them rounds when things went wrong, and really saved them a lot of momentum in that last half. Dinoco going to be tested here. He's been so solid on B as well, and he might be able to continue that form, but keeps on keeps on inching forward for the duels. As he goes down, so does that B bomb site.
Now, NRG are not aware that this site is completely clear, so they're going to continue to use this utility that they've been given to flush out any potential CTs, to which there are none. A 3v3 retake to ensue for E-Xolos LAZER. And they've got to do it with no kit and armorless Tadazin on dual Berettas. And they're just going to have to swing for the fences with crazy swings like that. Well, W1 and Landon do find kills apiece. It's all up to the captain. Can he have a heroic fight? No, not today. NRG will not get that 10th round. And E-Xolos LAZER live to fight another day.
Yeah, nice retake right there. It just felt like coming down to some very quick shots coming through there from E-Xolos, like dealing with the long-range duel initially on that player that was second oranges was not an easy task, and then Nitro had an opportunity, but still there's multiple players around that corner. Tough ask right there. And not going to be the decision here to go for the full investment like I maybe thought. You know that that new bomb economy is in the mix there, so that's always a deterrent here nowadays. Alongside that, a decent lead here, so I guess not a big need to rush into things here.
I like this more passive approach from NRG, not trying to push the issue on the force spy. A lot of teams just want to get it over with and just try to force in, but not this time. Any damage will do. A bomb plant would be an absolute luxury. They're looking to potentially go through this smoke if it gets recycled, especially considering now that they've given that front sight smoke. They're just going to try to plant in that. Maybe? Possibly? No, not to be the case. That bomb is still a ways away. Nitro made it his way into church, but that's been spotted. It should shortly be dealt with by Tadazin, and it will be. There's Dinoco on the site. He finds himself a couple. Oh, hold on. OC and Breeze chime in with the double deeks, and Breeze will fall eventually. So no bomb plant, but a couple of kills for NRG. I think they'll be okay with that.
Yeah, it's kind of mission accomplished right there. Again, not the biggest investment coming through there, just some utility and a couple of pistol upgrades, which is potentially becoming more of the norm here. It kind of depends on like how successful your pistol round is, depending on like how many kills you get, whether or not you force buy. But I've seen some teams really lean in on kind of going for the median, trying to get some success out of those rounds, not going all in. So now you got a gun round heading into this one.
Hex looking to build upon what he brought forth in that first half. As he looks outside the A apartments alongside Breeze. They've been a very dangerous combo within these apartments. I've seen them do a lot of great work in disassembling setups, and more importantly, getting brackets control. This time around, they're a lot more passive than they usually are because NRG are just still very keen on looking for potential B aggression. They can always pull back. There's still 55 seconds left on the clock, but that CT smoke is suggesting that they might want to commit to this hit straight away.
See if they make that fast motion on in. I mean, they are kind of inching their way forward, kind of taking a contact approach, as you can see from Automatic. There's that utility immediately answered back from Denoco as well. Interesting smoke to work off of there. I think the flash is really blinding up Automatic on the inbound, but both players on B feels like they've kind of revealed themselves, and as they move into CT, they're caught. A ruse, though, from Automatic to get another rotate on over as they actually make their move on in towards this A side, forcing a lot of discomfort. Only really a player showing right now in pit. Meanwhile, the other in apartments, and Nitro instantly dispatches of that pit player. The player in apartments, W1, gets nothing. And it's an A side retake that we know how these things go. Even if there's low HP, they're not going to make the effort. They're not going to give it a go. They call it a day and look to hold on to their guns for another day.
I mean, that is a crazy readjustment from NRG to pull the plug and commit to that A presence, that brackets presence that Breeze and Hex had worked so hard to get. It's still a bold call to make with how little time there was on the clock, but they do very well to isolate the specific spots that E-Xolos LAZER could be, and eventually they have to show a shoulder, they have to show a little bit of information. And that's when they capitalize. NRG showing a little bit of mid to late round prowess, something that they definitely lacked with their previous iteration.
Yeah, that's been a strong suit for them today. They've had very good late round protocols, very good, I mean, clutches even in the mix there as well. And even when things kind of do go out of control, they're able to stabilize, they keep their calm. That's an exciting format of NRG that definitely needed to be part of their game added. We maintain that form here against the decent purchasing power, and entry found by Automatic. They try and charge to that smoke. Automatic gonna return the favor though and get super aggressive.
That's lovely. That's lovely work from Automatic. Sure, he takes damage, but that kill, it feels ever sweeter. And with that, they get car control. They have a minute 10 left on the clock with such a valuable piece of the map that the world is really their oyster. And of course, you still have that lingering threat of Breeze and Hex to pounce within brackets that, if you're the Brazilians, you've just got to cower. You've got to cower or gamble. And they're going to opt in for the latter and move into that A site. Hope that NRG don't commit to any one area. The bomb is still keen on heading to that B bomb site, even though there's 3 players on A. And I think NRG have made the right decision. Surely they would have once Automatic clears out this site.
Yeah, they're still thinking about it, but that's 2 big pickups from Tatazen. And the Bob double backs immediately as Automatic gets a little too quiet on that end. And it's also Breeze going down on the extremity, so it is somehow managed right now between Tatazen and Landon on the other side of the map that they have themselves a chance at this B-side retake. Now, 3 kits in play, so that's not a concern. Post plants established here. Gonna see these guys go forward here. OC might need to make a more proactive move. There's a double up on the flashes here. He's holding the flank from a nice little off angle. Another flash comes in. The spray eventually does connect, at least for a kill. And Automatic just tucked in, waiting for time to slow down. A missed HE that might have just saved his life as he continues to hide.
Ooh.
Going for that last kill. The time is going to be close, but there just might be enough for Tatas, and he has it. And they stay afloat.
My God. I really thought the spray down from OC was available. Or Breeze, rather. But it's just not enough to confirm it. And it's just a matter of mere moments for all of these players to collapse and get that necessary double to even out the round. But it never comes through. E-Xolos LAZER just keep their heads above water. Luckily for NRG, they still got that bomb plant down. They'll still have a decent enough purchase. But that is a very important round for E-Xolos LAZER to confirm. Show that they've still got a little bit of oomph to this game just yet.
Question about it right there. That's a huge lifeline. A gamble call, but it doesn't matter if you get the next round answered like that. Automatic just replicates the same 4v5 success that he did in the round prior, and you're up against the same task again. Execute on in. They're going to look to get quick about this one. Off the back of that man advantage. There's still 2 here on the site, though.
Landon has an opportunity to line up a couple, and he absolutely does. He'll go unpunished. That's when Tadison can strike. And it's just that lowly deagle of OC that's left up in a 1v4. Not as exciting as that entry from Automatic as far as the rest of the round is concerned. And NRG will have to make do with a lost round and potentially a follow-up round lost as well, considering their finances were all in for this round. He has an opportunity at a couple kills. Moth will fall. A chance for OC to pick up a gun, but landed on the pillars a little too fast. There's that 7th round, and knocking on the door of that 8th as well.
It's become a little bit scary here, and some of the looks, as we said, some of the late round situations have been a big issue with NRG in closing out games. Just a little bit of flare up here and there, especially in the gun round 2 rounds prior. Looking to shake that off their back here, but they've only got pistols to do it. So there's more and more opportunity to close that distance here on the lasers. And finally, Automatic gets shut down. That's got to be sweet revenge there for Dinoco.
Absolutely. And now, it'll be a last-ditch effort from NRG on these pistols to, as you said, cut the distance with these Tech 9s. And that does mean that they're going to have to go through some smoke. It's not a pretty sight, and Landon will make it an absolute beauty. A couple deagle shots again the other way for NRG. And leaves Nitro in a very difficult 1v3. Tinoco is available from spawn. Or not spawn, T-spawn rather. But Nitro is very unaware of that second player, and he'll fall.
Got surprised by that. That'll do the trick right there. Another round added up. You're on the CT side, slowly but surely getting back into the game, and this time, you know, a lot more manageable in terms of the clawback as opposed to how it was previously. That last map, not as much distance still yet to claim map point as well here on the side of NRG, so some key distinctions.
You definitely feel a little bit more competitive in these rounds. You're not feeling like all hope is lost and the comeback is impossible. This is something certainly feasible to pull back. But they've still got 2 rounds to muster up before they can think about a lead or maybe even a map victory. And if they can split maps with NRG, that would be awesome for them in the grand scheme.
Yeah, it would be them getting past Nouns and NRG with a split, which
that's awesome.
That's going to make it a serious start to your season right there. 2 of the heavy hitters in the league, and you're closing out maps versus them. More to do to get to that point, but definitely getting to that slowly but surely.
Some a little bit more simplified for NRG, trying to just split into this A bomb site, but Landon's got an AWP, and these flashes are simply not hitting. He has an opportunity for a couple freebies. That means that the rest of this attack should be able to just spill over and fall apart. Unluckily for Breeze, the timing is uneventful for him. And Automatic now will just have to save this gun. Or maybe try to do a little bit more damage on the way out. Either way, this round feels pretty much done and dusted. The crosshair is a little bit awry on W1. And make that lead now just 1 singular round between E-Xolos LAZER and NRG.
It's going to be, again, the half buy to get to that point there. Landon also heating up with the op right now. It's great news. Having this being brought into the mix here for Lasers, it's going to make their job much more straightforward in closing this out on the CT side, putting him in the right position, right time, and building confidence in that last round here.
Here we go. They at least get into apartments pretty much safely. They've lost their B pressure, meaning that any potency out of A play will be not the best. They're going to go bounding in with the bomb, and they do find W1. They're going to pounce on this as soon as they get that opening pick, but Mott, with a combination of that incendiary, shuts down any attempt at that. And NRG, whatever excitement that was building in that round, gets immediately evaporated.
Yeah, it just feels like a reality check hits as you try and make it out of apartments. Access denied. Didn't have the key. Nitro has one more on the outro. Do a little bit of damage, at the very least. But it's all tied up now at this point here. I think fear is starting to set in because things aren't working. Here on the side of NRG. Great time to use a pause. Try and get Daps involved. See if they can find a solution to the problems. And this will be a good test for at least our day today for NRG. Can they manage to regain momentum? Can they take it away from their opposition?
It's hard to do when E-Xolos LAZER have all the weaponry and all the utility in the world. This is when you really have to orchestrate a well put together round if you're Nitro. This is where your leadership is put to a significant test. They haven't been in this position with this new lineup just yet. And now we get to uncover a little bit more to this story and this new addition. Can they stand that test of time?
100% right. Maybe trying to lean on what has worked in that throughout this half is trying to get automatic set up for damage, but this has been read in perfectly by the Lasers here. I mean, you can see the counterplay. Automatic taken down so very low and lucky to still be standing considering the barrage that he faced early. So resting on the success stories of the past here. Not going to lead to more success, and the Molotovs also landing some tick damage there. Landon does have to back off though. He's forced to play more passive, concede the site here. And now a bit of a goal here to make it in towards this side. Also going to be met early by automatic. They're in a good position to handle business and at least going down with one kill. With
what?
So valuable. Landon doesn't pull the trigger though, and it cost him his life. Hex gets away with the big one. The opera down now, and all three players rotating in from the flank. But I mean, again, automatic gathered all that information so early, so they have a good read on where this is coming, and it's just not going to come through at all. Instead, they're calling it a save, and that leadership passes the test as they are able to pass into that B site.
I mean, it's a crazy call to make, but I think Nitro has just figured out what the call was from LAZER. It's a triple B start, but it's all a ruse. It's all a gamble, and they immediately send two players back into A, leaving Landon on an island, and those flashbangs chaining them to make sure that Landon doesn't have a favorable duel. Then the smokes come in, and by the time he makes the rotation back over to Church, there is no duel available. He has to just play retake. And that's when you nestle in automatic. That's when you give him the opportunity to start to let loose, and as soon as he gets that one kill, you're thinking the round is over and done with. Sure, there's a little bit of retake utility available, but at that point, the time is too far gone, and by the time you're actually getting onto the site proper, it should be just over. Curtains.
100%. They're keeping up that same game plan here. I mean, they threw 3 good HEs last round and it didn't get a kill, so I think that was a big reason as to why they transferred over so many players, and it's the same exact call. The LAZER's not really adjusting anything in this round, hoping that they think they wouldn't do it twice. Might be onto something, but no, it's going to be, again, a pretty fast scaling towards this B side, it feels like. Smokes are down, but that smoke buys valuable time. I might have just bought enough to keep that B side safe.
Yeah, finally, Dinoco is here to help out Tadazin. They're still in apartments, or not in apartments, in a lane setup available for E-Xolos LAZER. High-low between W1 and his compatriot in Landon. It's a very potent setup, mind you, and as time continues to rot down, the Brazilians are getting very antsy to try and re-clear Banana. But they'll opt in against it. Here comes the execution, and this is the exact counter necessary to deal with this setup.
Gonna get overwhelmed here. Landon's still holding his ground so incredibly well, but he needs another one. He's got to fight for his way out of this position. Still kicking somehow. Still alive. With his back against the wall, eventually Hex catches a glimpse, just a glimmer, and some flare shown around that smoke. It's going to be OC to knock down the last two, cutting off the team as they try and save their op, or they never get a chance, as OC has got the line of sight on them instead.
Oh, and look what that's done. Look what that's done. Talk about the worst time for Serious Point to be on your screens if you're an E-Xolos LAZER fan. The economy just absolutely shattered, and two pinpoint precision calls from Nitro have put them in just the most opportune moment at the tail end of Inferno. They want to keep this clean sheet of a record alive. They're gonna have to just deal with this last force buy. Tadazin will not go down without a fight. Does take a flash to the face, but at the very least gets a kill back to make this a 4v4.
Again, not a bad start here, but like that 4v4 this early on is gonna definitely hurt that CT side. You're gonna feel the pressure. You're gonna feel some gaps in your map control. The attempt to fill those is usually where NRG have been able to pick you apart. But the one thing they had that's worked out very well for them is some of these gamble calls have been super successful. It's what maybe started off this comeback, kept it rolling. And it could just do it again, but it's Breeze with an instant headshot to dispatch. For the first prong, the first piece, W1 out of the server, watching from the sidelines as the rest of his team now needs to pick up those pieces here. They got pistol to do so. A 5-7 headshot coming with a flying 5-7 from Moth. But a kill apiece might not be enough as it leaves Dinoco in a clutch of 1v2. And it's on the A side, and it's with good post plants to go up against. I think there's a gun on the inbound.
Yeah, I think he's looking for that gun. And he does find an A1S, doesn't have a kit, as you mentioned, and now he's got to hope that a player or two are looking in the wrong direction, but eventually he'll have to make a sound cue. Hext is there, and sure, it was a little lethargic in the beginning stages of that T side, but when it mattered most, NRG and Nitro turn the corner and look for a solid win here on Inferno. 13-10 leaves the score. And I've got to say, those final 3 rounds that they did to actually win out the game were so clinical.
That's the exact reason I think why you need this this IGL with this tenure, with this experience. I think those